And straight out to HLN's legal correspondent, Jodi Arias. You are on the ground in Arizona. What's the latest about Jodi's transfer back to the jail and everything else that's happening right now?
We've learned a little bit more that it was 1 o'clock local time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, or about 3.5 hours ago, that Jodi was transferred back to the Estrella jail. So she's back at her original jail. But more than that, the public information officer has confirmed she is no longer on that suicide watch. So doctors, psychiatrists, and psychologists determined for her to be taken off suicide watch, which is a very important determination since we are 2 days away from the beginning of the sentencing phase.
Yeah, so obviously they talked to her, even though she said on that TV interview, hey, I don't want to live, kill me, I want the death penalty. After talking to doctors, psychiatrists, evaluating her, where she's in there in a behind a glass pane, wearing only some kind of like hospital gown because they can't let her have even any clothes because she might hurt herself with them. They decide, after talking to her, never mind. Does that mean she doesn't want the death penalty? It's an interesting question. Now, here's what I want to debate with my expert panel first. You just heard Jodi Arias say there is no mitigator. My attorney told me I have no mitigators, okay? Do you buy it? Is this manipulation by Jodi, or does she indeed have no mitigation? Starting with Stacey Honowitz for the prosecution.
Well, listen, she has to discuss with her lawyers the possibility of whether or not there are actually mitigating factors that the jury would buy into. Quite frankly, under Arizona law, it doesn't sound like she has a lot of mitigating factors other than how old she is, because quite frankly, they want to know, was it under duress that you committed this crime? Were you an active participant or just a minor role? Well, certainly she did it all by herself. I mean, there are certain, was it for, did somebody make her do it? There are different factors that you have to look at. So her lawyers might have told her there's not a lot for us to go on. So that part of it might not actually be a manipulation.
Randy Zellin for the defense. What about all her kooky behavior?
Mitigating factor number one is the difference where, hey, I'm not legally insane and it's not a defense, but my elevator doesn't go up to the top floor, and my ability to appreciate right from wrong was impaired. My ability to know that what I'm doing and to control my behavior was impaired. The 18 days that she spent testifying showed that jury, and I was lucky enough to be on your show, Jane, a number of times with a number of different experts. Personality disorder, this kind of disorder, that kind of disorder. So there's no question that in my mind, she saved her own life with that 18 days of testimony, because they could see this woman, she ain't all there. And when you look at the nature of the death, no execution there.
Look, first of all, have we not learned anything from this 4-month-long trial? What we should have learned is you can't believe a word that comes out of Jodi Arias' mouth, not one word. So discard her interview right away. Second of all, her attorneys are going to come up with some mitigating factors. They're just not going to stand there and not come up with anything. The question, of course, is will whatever factors they drum up be effective? That's the big question.
That's the difference between it. You can always go to court and ask for a mitigator. It doesn't mean the jury's going to buy into it. The court's going to find that it is not a mitigating circumstance. And quite frankly, sitting there those 18 days without any bit of remorse, even afterwards when she gave an interview, you didn't hear any remorse. And the fact that she's not mentally ill. She doesn't know boundaries. There's a difference.
I agree. She hasn't shown one morsel of remorse from the day this crime happened to today, and that is going to really hurt her in the end.
Jodi Arias, on this point of mitigators and people who might speak on behalf of her, you talked to her own mother, and her own mother is saying, I don't know. It sounds like, has the defense thrown in the towel here? I mean, how is it that that her own mother is saying, I don't know if I'm going to speak on her behalf?
Right. You know, in talking with her mother, I got the distinct gut feeling that she does not believe she's testifying and that she's not testifying. Now, we can't confirm that. We don't know that, but that was the feeling I got when I spoke with her, because she just didn't know what was happening. You would know what's happening. You would be told that you're going to take the stand to help save your daughter's life.
Well, I gotta wonder, is that because Jodi took the witness stand and threw her own mother under the bus and said, oh, my mother hit me with a wooden spoon? And if it's not true, does the mother think, well, if I take the stand to defend my daughter, then I'm going to be cross-examined by Prosecutor Martinez, who's going to ask me, well, did you ever hit her with a wooden spoon? And since I didn't, because let's say it's a lie, like a lot of other things she said, then they're going to catch me